All right, the sunny side. Carla's here.
It's so good to be back. In fact, it is great to be back. Not just good. Hello, Lagos, and welcome back to the Health Station on your favorite station, 99.3 Nigeria Info. And for those of you who are kind of wondering about how familiar my voice is, I know Joyce just introduced me. She just burst my bubble. But anyway, I am back. It is me, your health coach, for the coming half hour. This is Carla Shidiak. And I'm so happy
Carla,
to...
where'd you go?
Honestly,
you want to dodge? Where'd you go?
I'm happy not just to be back. I'm happy to be back in person in the studio, Joyce. You know, I've missed it.
Good. So explain to us, because we've missed you too. Where did you go?
Well, I was around. I was around on Skype for some time. Then I took a very long leave. Off the record.
Yeah, okay.
Very, very long one, though.
Yeah.
I know. I apologize. But,
You're back.
I am back. And I can finally talk and interact with every one of you listening to me right now. I can't wait to open the lines, Joyce. And I've got so much to share today on today's show and on the many more shows to follow. And remember to always check my posts on Instagram at Balance with Carla or hashtag The Health Station for many topics we have covered so far that concern you, your loved ones, and your health in your everyday life. Now, I'm not here to shame you like I've been introduced to, although Joyce is always on the defensive. This is how we play it. Good cop, bad cop. You know, she's the good cop, I'm the bad cop. But anyway, without further ado, let us dive right into today's topic. And today's topic is all about a food we all enjoy.
I told you.
No matter. It just so happened that was the topic. It's amazing. You always get me at the wrong timing for me. So yes, it is about a food I also enjoy, Joyce, and you enjoy as well. And it's a food that no matter how it is cooked, you see it all on all tables, meals. You see it on all supermarket shelves, on all streets, being sold as a main meal or even as an accompanying dish. Basically, I'm talking about bread. Now, I have to tell you, I have this thing for bread. Although I might not be preaching for bread today, but I'm not telling you to punish yourselves. I'm telling you to keep an open mind to what I'm going to tell you today, and then we'll discuss further on that. But be it flatbread, agege bread, sliced bread, hamburger bread, hot dog bread, any kind of bread, specifically refined and processed bread, it is bombarding the market. And why is it bombarding the market as we speak? Because it's low in cost, it's cheap, and it has a long shelf life. Yet you will see in a few minutes how it may also be bombarding your health, not just the supermarket shelves. And specifically if it is commercially sold bread and, you know, a main ingredient in your diet. If you're a person who eats bread, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, who has bread like most of the time, I think this is the right time for you to listen up, gear up, put your phones aside, and lend me your ears, because I would love to also listen to what you have to say about your relationship with bread, and more specifically about what the topic of today's show is specifically on bread. What happens when you stop bread for 14 days? Have you tried that, Joyce?
Oh yeah. So yeah, I love bread. By the way, you're making me feel guilty. Bread, cheese with some butter.
Ooh, when it comes out straight from the oven.
What? Oh, Carla.
That smell.
Carla.
Yeah, but I'm not here to promote bread. So
You're
anyway,
terrible.
I don't know if I'm doing the right thing today. But you've tried it, right?
Yeah. Oh
Okay.
yeah. Oh yeah.
So we will talk about how you reacted to...
Okay, sure.
But you went cold turkey, you completely stopped bread.
No. So, like listening to you, I've also kind of understood some of the things you want us to get used to, which is the balance of the diet.
Yes.
So I enjoy when I enjoy it. Then I can actually go like longer than, 2 weeks without it.
Perfect.
And be good.
Perfect. That's what we want to get
Yeah,
at. We're
and
not
be
telling
good.
you all stop eating bread. Come on, we have to enjoy our life.
Yeah.
I enjoy having bread with butter. I won't lie to you, but I'm specific with the quality of bread I choose. The better quality, the less it has an impact on my health, definitely, and we will talk about that.
Okay.
So anyway, let's go straight to this. What happens when you stop bread for 14 days? Have you tried doing it? If so, how did your body respond to it? If you haven't, would you consider doing that, especially after hearing what I have to say about it by the end of the show? What would you think would happen if you did? So I will be opening the lines, and please share your comments, your questions, anything related to this specific topic. 0700 993 993 993. And most importantly, I hope you learn at least one or two things today to take home with you. So let us start with some recap on bread. So to start, what's in your bread? And more specifically, in your commercially white, fluffy bread that you enjoy having using mayonnaise, dipping into your breakfast or afternoon tea, or even having with some stew, such as bean stew. There are main ingredients you should bear in mind, okay? You've got gluten, refined grains, so it's mainly grains such as the wheat grain that has been processed. It's been stripped off its bran and its germ, and what's left of it is the endosperm, which is the white part, which is what makes flour white. You've got sugar, you've got starch additives, flavoring sometimes, conditioners, yes, conditioners, you heard me right, for texture, mold inhibitors, phytates, which block your zinc and your calcium and your iron, and glyphosate, which is actually a herbicide. Yes, you've heard that right. We are talking about here commercially sold bread and flour, of course. There are a lot of breads that don't have these ingredients, but we're talking about the breads you see mostly on the streets being sold in supermarket shelves at a very low cost. Remember, cheap is not always a good sign, all right? So here is what will happen to you once you have stopped bread for a good 14 solid days. Number one, you will feel less bloated. That's a rule of thumb for so many people. So many people have allergies or intolerances to gluten, and that causes bloating. So not to mention that refined carbs such as, goods made from white flour in general create bloating. So bloating is already something you can deal with. If you're always bloated, maybe quitting bread isn't such a bad idea after all. Number two, your body will get an increase in zinc, calcium, and iron because some ingredients, such as the phytates in your bread, inhibit these minerals to be absorbed in your body. Number three, your head will feel better. And when I say better, I mean you'll get less brain fog, more mental clarity, less headaches, and enhanced memory, enhanced attention span, and in many cases, less symptoms of ADHD. Now, for those of you who don't know what ADHD is, it's one of the most common neurodevelopmental disorders of children, and it is usually first diagnosed in childhood and in many cases lasts until adulthood. Children and adults with ADHD may have trouble paying attention, controlling impulsive behaviors. They may act without thinking about what the result will be, or be overly active. So imagine if stopping bread could actually help reduce these behavioral symptoms in your child or in you as an adult if you do suspect you have ADHD, because many people go through their whole lifetime undiagnosed. Number four, another thing about quitting bread is that you'll be in a better mood, less anxious, less depressed. Research has actually kept on proving that there's a strong connection between what is happening in your gut, what you just ate, and what is going on in your head. So imagine how your stomach is actually controlling your mood, and overall quitting bread will put you in a much better mood. Number five, when it comes to pain and inflammation, you will feel much less of these two. Not only does gluten, which is the protein you find in wheat and other gluten-containing grains, not only does gluten in bread cause inflammation, we call it pro-inflammatory, but the refined carbs and sugar do as well. So if you have arthritis, fibromyalgia, what else? Anything that ends with itis, actually, it's due to inflammation, and I can guarantee you will feel much better if you do stop bread completely. When it comes to weight and fat loss specifically, weight loss, quitting bread also makes you end up with less belly fat and more weight loss, because more weight loss causes less insulin to be pumped into your body, and we know that insulin is what we call the fat storing hormone. So the less bread you're taking in and the less quality of the carbs in bread you're taking in, which are the refined carbs, the less your body is going to be pumping insulin. And the less your body pumps insulin, the less your body's storing fat. So that's it. You will have less fat in your body, more weight to lose, and less weight to gain. Now, of course, you will experience more energy in so many different ways. But let me tell you something. usually the more you're addicted to a substance, the worse you're going to feel when you withdraw from that substance before even getting better. So there's a very big chance at the beginning, when you're quitting bread, in the beginning, the few starting days of your, quitting, you might feel so bad, lethargic, tired, headaches, low energy. But after those 14 days, I guarantee you, your energy will be restored and you might even feel more energetic than before. You will also definitely have less diabetic symptoms, and more specifically, lower levels of AIS. Now, AIS is a diabetes indicator. Okay, for those who aren't familiar with the name, the AIS test is also known as the hemoglobin A1C or HbA1c test. And it is simple blood tests that measure your average blood sugar levels over the past 3 months. Now, it's one of the commonly used tests to diagnose prediabetes and diabetes. And it is also the main test to help you and your healthcare team, of course, to manage your diabetes. So actually, you might not have a lower A1C in the first 14 days. That's because it takes around 3 months actually to start going down. But you should see better blood sugar levels. That's for sure. And that's 8 stuff I've already mentioned. There are 2 more to go, and then I'm so going to listen to what you guys have to say. FYI, Joyce, the music is gone. I can hear myself very clearly. Joyce is here to the rescue, my technical co-pilot. All right, so number 9. Decrease HDL, cholesterol levels. We all know those numbers. Ooh, the music is back. All of those numbers, LDL cholesterol levels, they will decrease and you will have less oxidation in your arteries. So that's a big, big deal. Blocked arteries, you won't have to worry about that. But once again, I'm just giving you an idea. It's not if you've stopped bread, but you're eating all the sugar in your world, all the fried foods, all the unhealthy junk food, that you won't have this artery problem. You need to make sure your diet is balanced, okay? It's not if you stop one thing and you eat something else that's as bad or even worse that you're not going to have that problem. So just make sure you know what you're eating. And finally, your body will have more vitamin E and Bs because refined grains, refined carbs deplete you of vitamin E and vitamin Bs because there are many of those. You will breathe better. You will experience more endurance with your heart, less angina attacks. Your heart will work better. You will have less oxidation in your arteries, which is going to decrease the risk of getting a clot because the vitamin E is a major antioxidant that can protect you. So there are so many more advantages to quitting processed and refined food, including commercially sold bread. And unfortunately, this is because most of the bread sold nowadays is a fraud. Grains, think about it this way. The grain is stripped off from all its vitamins and goodness before it's entering the processing mechanism, before it's being processed, in order to make the bread have a longer shelf life, taste sweeter, have a fluffier texture, look nicer, look whiter. And right after they rape these natural grains, they add a few synthetic vitamins, preservatives, and more synthetic additives to claim to you in their marketing game that it is enriched with so-and-so vitamins and minerals. This is exact when, from the beginning, they stripped it off from all its goodness. It's basically removing all your clothes, all your accessories, all your the 2 shoes you're wearing, not all the shoes, and you're the grain, and they remove everything, they put you naked. Then after you're naked, they only make you wear a pair of shoes that doesn't even fit properly because it's synthetic, and say, voila, you are indeed very well dressed with those lovely pairs of shoes, no matter how naked you are. That's exactly what's happening to the grain. And Joyce is right there agreeing with me. Now,
I totally agree, because I was even going to share a scenario with you. I was waiting for you to finish.
And that's exactly what we're going to do while we're waiting for the calls. But just a few things. There are exceptions to good quality breads. Okay, I am not attacking all kinds of breads, especially if the bakery or whoever it is, or you are using whole grain, organic, or synthetic and additive-free flour, not using any additives, but you still have the problem of wheat, which contains gluten in so many cases. And many people, without knowing, have an intolerance to gluten which causes bloating. So you might want to look into other non-gluten containing grains options such as quinoa, brown rice, wild rice, buckwheat, sorghum, tapioca, millet, teff, arrowroot, and oats. Although oats has no gluten, but most of the time it's processed in machines that have used gluten-containing grains. So make sure they're labeled as gluten-free, as they may be contaminated with gluten during processing. But you also have the problem of yeast. Many people are intolerant to yeast. Many people have problems digesting yeast. So in many cases, there are those two big culprits. No matter how good the quality of your flour is, you have the yeast, you have the gluten, and these, specifically gluten, can cause allergies, inflammation, intolerance. So in all, I would say, instead of you looking and paying extra money, because it would definitely be more expensive to find imported gluten-free bread that contains healthy ingredients, the pros of quitting bread outweigh the cons. And trust me, you get your carbs from so many other sources, such as rice, yam, millet, beans, cassava, and the list goes on. So anyway, we are opening the lines here once again. And Joyce is going to share one part. Sorry, that's my spray that just went off the table. Joyce is going to share her experience with quitting bread.
No, I didn't quit.
Oh.
So I love your analogy. So this is what happened. I went to the superstore to buy Basmati rice.
Oh, okay.
So I wanted the brown one. Yeah. Now the brown one cost almost 18,000 for 5 kg.
All right. Yeah.
Then I thought about so I'm thinking in my head, I'm saying, well, if this is, the brown one certainly has the husk on it, so it hasn't been through any process.
The ofada rice is like that, by the way.
Thank you. Why is brown basmati more expensive than the white one, but the white one has been through processing? So the human labor that the rice goes through in the period, or say the phases of processing, is supposed to make it more expensive. But instead, the one that didn't go through any processing is more expensive. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
white rice is cheaper than the brown one, but the brown one has added value of human labor, while the brown one doesn't have any.
Because white rice is not whole. It's not a pure. How am I going to put it? It's not pure in the sense there are so many additives added to it to give it a very long shelf life. So it's cheaper on the longer run for the producer, because he knows, production manager or whatever, they know that whatever they're producing is going to last for a long time on the shelf.
Oh, I see.
And then again, you have to look at the brands. But let's put ofada rice, by the way. Ofada rice is cheaper than white rice in general, from what I've seen.
Okay.
From the same brands.
Okay.
Ofada rice is kind of cheaper, but you will notice the ofada rice takes much longer to cook than the actual brown rice of basmati brown rice.
Yeah.
And it shows you how untouched the grains are, because the longer it takes to cook, the longer it
better.
shows that this grain has not been corrupt. It hasn't been stripped of anything.
So now that you're saying it, ofada might even be better than...
Oh, big time. You've got
basmati.
brown rice here. Ofada is a local food. Make the best of it. But I know many people are reluctant in using ofada because it takes time, but it's fine.
And then the taste,
It's
I think
fine.
people are not necessarily
Yes, because
finding
we're all, subject ever since we're kids. White rice, the texture, the softness, the everything. And it's engraved into our brains that, white is better. White used to be the rich people's food back in the days.
Yeah.
But now it's the opposite. Whole grains, because of its health, because of the high demand and low availability, people are able to price high. The more we start eating healthier food like the brown rice, the more the demand, the more there's going to be someone to meet the demand, and then prices will go down. It's just because it's not as available as the other junk.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
So let's take some calls. 0700-993-993-993. We have around 5 minutes to see what you have to say, what you have to ask. And please, let's keep it on that topic. What happens when you stop bread for 14 days?
Can you stop?
Uh-huh.
We lost you.
But you did mention stopping. That's what I wanted you to share, by the way.
Oh, absolutely. So I maybe what's happened for me is I didn't have a prior addiction.
Which is good. It's not like you were focused on bread being your staple
There's
food.
just that every time I want to have bread, I want it to have glory on it. I want there to be a statement about
Yes,
it.
yeah. So then it's fine.
Yeah.
Whenever it's just like me. It's not something I eat every day.
No, it's not a staple
So,
for me.
but I do notice that when there's specific kinds of bread, when I don't eat them, my bloating goes away. And this is a sign that either I have an intolerance to the yeast they're using or the actual gluten grain, which I
Well,
don't
tell us
eat.
about it.
Well,
No
that's-
time, yeah?
Well, no time. I need to take some calls.
Okay,
Let's
well,
go.
You should tell us about that so we know why you're reacting. Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
This is Ike calling from Vote.
Hi, IK. Thanks for calling. Go ahead.
Yeah, the bread we are talking of, Nigeria is in a bad situation that even if we see the water bread now, people could rush it because there's hunger in the country. Things are not moving well. So, telling us about bread, that's the only cheapest food we can see in the market now.
I agree with
And
you.
it's very expensive too. So.
Yeah.
You
It's
only
sad.
be telling this to people that are those politicians, those people that are those people who are eating our money. We are looking for bread.
But you can still eat yam,
Thank
you
you
can
very
still eat eba, you can
Thank
still
you.
eat cassava, you can still eat semolina, you can still eat so many things that don't contain what bread
In 30
contains.
seconds, Carla, tapioca is white. You think it's also safe?
It depends on the ingredients. You have flour that's very good, and there you have flour that's so corrupt with so many ingredients. Look at the package, look what's in the ingredients, and then that's how you'll know.
Okay,
They
okay.
sometimes put bleaching additives to flour to make it look whiter. Conditioners. I mean, I'm giving you the list. Mold inhibitors, phytates, glyphosates, which are herbicides, to keep the flour or the bread to have a longer shelf life. It's all about the money. It's all about how much money they make, not about your health. Trust me.
We're off on a break. We'll come back to Carla.
Fast, abeg. Nobody dey my shop. Why this person dey steal from me now? Wahala no dey finish.
Omnibiz, oh. Online market for your store. Online market, online market, online market. You don't order your goods, so. Omnibiz go deliver your goods to your shop fast. Just go their website, shop.omnibiz.com, or download the app. Use code WELCOME500 to get discount on your first order. Omnibiz, online market for your store.
All right. So yeah, I feel with whoever's listening right now, you might be wondering, oh, what am I going to buy then? Trust me, you can buy so many things out there. Go back to the way your parents ate. Go back to eating your fruits and vegetables, your tubers.
I think you're saying aim for less processed food.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's
Aim
just
for
read.
less processed food. I mean, one example we were talking about, you and I, Joyce, is the ofada rice.
Yeah.
Ofada rice has so much goodness, so much. And sometimes you can do bread without using the cheap flour. You can do homemade bread, but it's about you. Are you willing to invest your time, your efforts into your health? Because all of us look for the quick fix, something on the supermarket shelf. I don't have time for this. I don't have time for that. Well, honestly, I'm going to tell you, you need to find time. Stop blaming it and pointing fingers. Point the finger at yourself. It's all under your hands. If you start taking responsibility towards yourself.
And sickness is expensive.
Definitely.
You know,
Then
like-
you've got hospital bills. Let's take some calls. Hello? Hello? Lines are cutting. Hello?
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yeah, my name is Ruben from Yaba.
Hi, Ruben. How are you? Can you reduce your volume, please, in case it's high?
Okay, can you hear
And
me
go,
now?
yeah, and then go right to your question, okay?
Yes,
Time.
please.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, on the topic about bread, it's really funny that, you are speaking about bread and you excluded spaghetti bread, You never even mentioned it. And you
Yes,
forgot
you
that you are
did.
speaking to You are speaking to regular Lagosians.
No,
you know?
no, she did. You missed it. She
my
did.
my dear.
I've been listening all through. But I
You
never
can
heard
go
the
back
word
on
I
Facebook.
needed.
You
She
can go
did.
back. You can go
All
back.
right.
You can replay the show. The first few breads I mentioned,
All right,
and I will give you
But
the
I want to ask
order.
one question.
I will give you the order. It was flatbread, agege bread, sliced bread, hamburger bread, hot dog. So my
Okay,
apologies
okay.
if you didn't listen very well, but I did mention it, and it's one of the top breads being consumed in Lagos. Trust me, I did my research. But go ahead, start your
I want to
question.
ask one last question.
Go ahead.
I want to learn baking and I want to bake bread myself. Like I'm sick of agege bread and I want to make my own bread.
All right, sorry,
So
I'm
I
going to
always
have to
want-
cut you off because that's not related to the question. The question is what happens when you stop bread for 14 days? I'm sorry I'm cutting you off, but we're leaving the chance for people to actually talk about this specific topic. Let's take a few calls. Hello. Please focus on the topic. It would really be advisable for us to have one topic per show just to make sure we're all on the same page. What's your experience with bread, stopping bread, 14 days? Tell me.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I'm a bread addict. I'm Eric calling from Warri. I'm a bread addict,
Yes.
but I stopped eating bread for over 3 months now
Tell us.
because I want to reduce my sugar. So I'm only feeding on oats.
And tell us, how did it feel stopping for the first few days and how does your body respond to that?
I feel it, but because of it, I try to reduce my sugar, so I bear it. I just bear it, and I'll be coping.
Have you
I'll be
done
coping.
tests to see how your blood sugar is now compared to 3 months ago?
Yeah. Right now, I think on Monday I checked my sugar. It was 87. It was 76.
And
Today
how
I
much was
checked,
it?
It was
Yeah.
87.
All right, so we're on the right track. Well done for you. I applaud you for that. Well done. We'll take
So,
one. Yeah, sorry.
I want to hear, but I'm taking the brand Basmati now. But you are just mentioning whether Ofada rice.
Ofada is
Can
as
I
good.
get Ofada?
You can take Ofada, of
Ofada.
course. Yes, of course. Go ahead.
How is this spell? What's the spell in Ofada? OFA?
DA. OFADA.
OFADA.
Google it. You'll find
Okay.
it. Thanks for calling. I think it's the last call we're taking, Joyce.
Yes.
Last call.
Yeah, hello.
Please make it count. Hello.
Yeah, hi. Good evening.
Hi.
Good afternoon, Joyce.
Hurry up, my friend. You know the sun is about to set. Go ahead.
Okay, I want to quickly. I'm going to stop bread, for a month.
Yes, good
and
luck.
See how it goes because I take
Well
it a
done.
lot. But there's something I usually do when I buy my bread. I put it in the oven. Then after a while, it browns a little and it becomes very crisp. I love taking them like that. So I'm wondering if it makes any difference or am I just
The only
making like
difference
that?
is that you're dehydrating the bread. Any water left or moist, let me say, moist left in the
Just
bread is
water,
gone. Yeah, that's it.
That is good.
That's it.
Okay.
Thanks for calling. Thanks for asking. I will let you now on this note. Try it. Tell me how it feels. Share your comments eventually on Instagram and let us know how it went. Joyce, thanks for having me.
It's been a pleasure,
I will
really.
be
And
back.
it's good to have you back. But tell us,
Definitely.
give us your Instagram handle again so we can actually check it out.
At Balance with Carla, because we're here to balance your life. Thanks for having me, Joyce. I'll see you next week on another
Carla
topic.
will be back next week, my friends. And I'm looking forward to a very winery weekend.
Just make sure you have some bread with your butter. Enjoy it. I'm not telling you guys to stop it completely, but if you are addicted, definitely quitting is a
So
good
Carla's at some point going to have to speak about wine and wine consumption, and maybe I'm going to be on her good books. All right, have a beautiful weekend. Carla will be back next week. My name's Joyce. The sun sets here. My work's done. Love your neighbors. You love yourself. Love your country. Stand by it, for it, defend it. We're 99.3. This is Nigeria Info. Until next week, God bless you. Bye-bye.